Adrian Hale had built his empire on precision. Every contract, every merger, every negotiation, he navigated them with the sharpness of a blade. But now the blade had dulled, not because he was any less intelligent, but because the world around him moved in languages he couldn't fully understand anymore. His global expansion plan required instant communication with partners from East Asia, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe, yet his chief interpreter had resigned unexpectedly and vanished without notice. The replacement agency promised a new one within a week, but in Adrian's world, a week was long enough to lose billions. The boardroom windows were tall enough to touch the ceiling, and behind them, the city glittered like a well-cut diamond. Adrian didn't see any of it. His jaw clenched as he listened to the chaotic sound of executives whispering, trying to salvage conversations he could no longer decode. A massive deal with a tech conglomerate in Seoul hung on a razor's edge. The partners spoke minimal English. Adrian spoke none of their language. Every second of silence felt like money burning. "Sir, should we postpone?" His vice president, Lewis, asked quietly. "Postpone and we lose the deal," Adrian said. "They'll take it to someone who can communicate." His phone buzzed relentlessly with updates from other branches. Another partnership in Dubai falling apart, a mining contract in Kazakhstan stalled, a shipping negotiation in Shanghai halted entirely. The world had become a maze of confusion overnight. In the midst of the corporate storm, the only sound Adrian could focus on was the soft shuffle of footsteps outside his office as the cleaning staff finished their morning rounds. It was a routine noise, one he usually ignored, but today it pierced through the suffocating tension. Maria, the maid who cleaned his office twice a week, moved quietly, respectfully, almost invisibly. She had worked there for 3 years. Adrian had barely spoken to her beyond polite greetings. She was small, soft-spoken, and always avoided disrupting anything around her. She reminded him of the kind of person the world rarely noticed, but whose absence would leave everything subtly worse. As she stepped inside with her cleaning cart, she immediately sensed the heaviness in the room. Executives stood pale and defeated. Papers and laptops were scattered across the table. The atmosphere felt like a funeral. Maria paused. "Sir, should I come back later?" "No," Adrian muttered. "Go ahead. It doesn't matter." She nodded and began dusting a corner of the room. For a few moments, the only sound was the quiet swipe of her cloth. Then something unexpected happened. Adrian's phone rang with a video call from the Seoul partners. His heart tightened. He couldn't delay. He pressed accept. The foreign executives spoke rapidly, their expressions stern. Adrian understood nothing. He looked helplessly at his own team. No one moved. Maria, still dusting near the door, glanced at the screen and froze. A moment later, she cleared her throat. "Sir, they're asking why the financial projections don't match the proposal you sent last night." Everyone turned to her. Adrian stared, stunned. "You understand them?" he asked. Maria hesitated. "Yes, sir. My mother is Korean. I grew up speaking both languages." Before anyone could react, the partners on the screen asked another question, sharper this time. Maria stepped forward, hands shaking slightly, and translated. Adrian responded instantly. She translated back. The business partners nodded, their tone softening as clarity replaced suspicion. For 20 minutes, Maria stood beside Adrian, translating every word flawlessly. Her expression remained humble, but her voice carried confidence no one had seen in her before. When the call ended, the Seoul team asked for a second meeting, in 2 hours. They seemed reassured. The deal was alive. Adrian exhaled for the first time in hours. "Maria," he said quietly, "you may have just saved $1 billion partnership." Maria's cheeks flushed. "I'm just glad I could help, sir." "I want you to stay," he said. "We need you." "I can help with Korean," she said. "But the other deals, I don't know those languages." Before Adrian could reply, another call came in, this time from Dubai. The executives on the screen began speaking Arabic, frustration clear. Maria listened for a moment. "They're asking why we haven't confirmed the shipping timeline and if the penalties are negotiable." Adrian blinked. "You understand Arabic too?" She nodded shyly. "I worked as an interpreter years ago before coming here. Life became complicated, so I took this job to survive." The room fell silent. Maria stepped forward again. Her translations were smooth, precise, and full of the professional nuance only trained interpreters possess. Adrian negotiated with confidence, and soon the tension in the Dubai partners' voices eased. They agreed to continue the contract. When the call ended, Maria stepped back, almost as if she regretted being noticed at all. Louis whispered, "Sir, she just saved another deal." Adrian turned to her. "Why didn't you tell anyone you had these skills?" Maria looked down. "People don't usually expect much from someone who cleans floors. And I needed the job." It was stable, quiet. Adrian felt something shift inside him. Frustration, disbelief, and admiration all tangled together. He studied her carefully. She wasn't trembling anymore. She stood tall, with the quiet dignity of someone who had been underestimated her whole life. "Maria," he said, "you're not cleaning my office anymore." Her eyes widened. "Sir, you're coming upstairs to the executive floor. Effective immediately." She shook her head. "I don't have the clothes, the training, You have the most important skill in this building today," Adrian said. "You gave this company something no one else could." Maria's lips parted as if she wanted to protest again, but she stopped. Adrian gestured for her to follow him. Word spread through the building like lightning. Employees turned their heads as they saw the company's owner walking beside the maid. Some whispered, others stared openly, but Maria kept her gaze forward, her steps small but steady. In the executive wing, Adrian introduced her to the department heads and gave her a workspace beside his office. A translator's station was assembled within minutes. Maria watched the efficiency around her, amazed and overwhelmed. "Sir," she whispered, "this is too much." "No," Adrian said, "this is exactly what you deserve." The next hours felt like a storm. Calls came in from Kazakhstan, Shanghai, Poland, Japan. One by one, Maria handled them all, switching languages with a fluency that left everyone speechless. She translated business plans, legal clauses, cultural misunderstandings, and emotional undertones. She rescued negotiations that had been sinking for days. Adrian found himself relying on her more than he had relied on any employee in years. She was calm where others panicked. She understood not only words but intentions. She read people's expressions in ways Adrian could not. At one point, after she saved a mining contract worth $600 million, Adrian leaned back in his chair and murmured to Louis, "How did we not see her?" Louis whispered, "Because no one looks closely when a uniform says, Maid." That sentence hit Adrian harder than he expected. By evening, Maria's voice was hoarse, but she kept working. Adrian brought her a glass of water. Himself. Something he had never done for any employee. "Thank you," she whispered, startled. "You've done more for this company in one day than most people do in a year," he said. She smiled faintly. "Today felt like I remembered who I used to be." "Who you are," Adrian corrected. As night settled over the city, the last emergency call came in, a final negotiation with a European investment group. The team had threatened to withdraw completely. This was the deal that, if lost, would pull several of Adrian's subsidiaries into collapse. Maria sat beside him once more. She translated every concern, every threat, every hesitation. Adrian countered with strategy after strategy. Hours passed. At last, the group agreed to sign. The deal was saved. When the call ended, everyone in the room applauded. Maria looked overwhelmed. Her hand fluttered to her chest as if she couldn't believe the sound was for her. Adrian stood, approached her, and extended his hand. "You didn't just save my company," he said. "You saved me." Maria blinked rapidly, trying not to cry. "I was only doing what I could." "That, only, was worth billions," he said. She laughed softly, wiping her eyes. "I guess today was unexpected." He smiled. "Maria, if you're willing, I want you as my full-time senior interpreter. The salary will be whatever you ask." Her jaw trembled. "Sir, this will change my life." "Then let it," he said. "You've earned it." Maria looked around at the polished walls, the glowing city beyond the glass, the team watching her with newfound respect. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as the woman who cleaned offices, but as someone with talent, knowledge, and worth. "I accept," she said softly. Adrian nodded, relieved, proud, and strangely moved. They walked out of the boardroom together, side by side, no longer the billionaire and the invisible maid, but two people who had saved each other in different ways, one from losing everything he built, and the other from losing everything she had once been. And as the elevator doors closed, Adrian couldn't help but think that sometimes, the one person the world overlooks is the one person it needs the most.